They're passing that massive Liverpool flag around the Kop end that actually stretches all the way from the top to the bottom of that famous stand here at Anfield, where we're just over 5 minutes away from the get-go. Just to update you what's happening elsewhere tonight: Arsenal 0, Bolton 0. That's about 9 minutes old in the other Carabao Cup tie tonight. Arsenal starting that 16-year-old fifth-choice goalkeeper in nets tonight at the Emirates Stadium, given their problems with injuries and ineligibility. They signed Neto as a cup goalkeeper and then realised he played for Bournemouth in the cup. That was a good idea. In the Europa League, there are a couple of early games that both finished 3-2. RZ of Holland beat Elfsborg by that scoreline, and Bodo Glimt also won 3-2. That's a great win against FC Porto, and Bodo Glimt were down to 10 men in that game. Manchester United get their Europa League campaign underway the same time this game kicks off, just up the East Lancs Road against FC Twente, and that game's live over on Talksport with Joe Shannon and Mickey Gray. But I tell you what, let's quickly hear from Julen Lopetegui, because he's the manager upon whom most of the focus has been shifted tonight, and he understands the fans' frustrations at West Ham following their poor start to the season.
It's normal. You lost. They have the right to complain, for sure. We know this. We are the only solution to change this. We have to do better. All of us. The first, me, for sure. And we have to change. We have to improve and look forward. But it's true that it's the start of the season. We have a lot of times to do this. And for sure, to be honest, we ourselves to change things and to improve. It's about this.
Julen Lopetegui there chatting to the press. I've got Stuart Pearce alongside me here, who's going to be on commentary with me tonight. If we don't just look at the Chelsea game, I know that was a disappointing performance and result, but can you see what Lopetegui is trying to do over the games that West Ham have had since he took charge?
Well, I think when he's come into the club, there was this narrative that the team needed to play more football. So I would suspect, I've not seen them play live, so I'm really intrigued to see tonight how they play. I've seen snippets of how they've done and highlights and whatever. I would think he'll come in and want to play a more expansive game, because if the owners have gone out there and listened to sort of narrative around about David didn't play enough football, blah, 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 then you obviously recruit a manager that you think can deliver a brand of football that the fans want.
9 changes Liverpool tonight, 7 changes West Ham. I spoke about this last night when I was at the Chelsea game against Barrow, and thinking about teams as strangers. Actually, in terms of Chelsea, that didn't cause them any problems, because some of their understanding between players who don't really play with one another often was fantastic. But that can sometimes be an issue on these cup nights, can't it?
It can. If you're 5% off it, it'll show, you know. And I think probably the game at Wickham yesterday was a point in case. A lot of changes, and Wickham give a good account of themselves. So, but what you've got to turn around and say, the standard of these teams, and as a manager, you've got to make changes, because otherwise people are sat there, like maybe an example, Danny Ings tonight, not getting a game of football. He's got 2 centre forwards in front of him, potentially, in Antonio and Furtov, that could play. So you've got to give these players a game.
Players are out, and the handshakes are starting down the line. Andrew Madley and his team in the centre. There's a banner that's been unfurled. Stop exploiting loyal fans, I think it was. Stop exploiting loyalty. The Football Supporters Association have got a little banner that they've unfurled in the West Ham section in the bottom tier of the Anfield Road stand. And we've had the 20 is plenty campaign, Stuart. You know, Henry Winter, our friend from Sunday Edition, spearheaded that campaign to make sure that away ticket pricing was more reasonable for those that travel long distances. But I think there's still a lot of anger about the way fans are being, well, we've got this whole thing with price gouging and dynamic pricing for concert tickets these days as well, haven't we?
Well, that's something I just can't get my head round. That's incredible. But certainly when you consider the journeys that all these fans have made to come up, you would fully expect them to get the travellers to get a cheaper ticket than the home fans. I think there's nothing wrong with that sort of pricing.
Well, there are a few black balloons that have been thrown onto the pitch as well that are part of this protest, I think, from the FSA. In the meantime, you can hear the familiar strains of Jerry and the Pacemakers playing around Anfield. Scarves aloft from all the home sections, and those giant flags waving away to our right-hand side with some gusto in the Kop end. Let me remind you of the teams once again if you're just tuning in ahead of kick-off. Liverpool have Kelleher in goal again. Alisson still not quite fit. Bradley, Kwanzaa, Gomez and Tsimikas in the back four. Endo and Jones, the holding midfielders. Chiesa making his first start for Liverpool. Jota and Gakpo in behind Nunez. And as for West Ham, Fabianski comes in as goalkeeper. Soufal, Todibo, Kilman and Cresswell in the back four. Alvarez, Soler and Souček in midfield. Bowen, Somerville and Ings in attack. And Jared Bowen and Joe Gomez, two young Englishmen, are sorting out the coin toss as the two captains tonight. And it would appear that both teams will stay in the ends there, are going to start in. So Liverpool will be attacking the Anfield Road end to our left as we look down from our, well, it is a spectacular viewpoint up here, isn't it, Stuart, from this newly revamped main stand that we're in.
Well, the incredible thing is, Dan, you look at the Kop and it looks minute compared to the rest of the stadium now, and
I imagine the first time you came here as a player, the Kop must have been quite overwhelming.
Well, it was like Kilimanjaro in those days, you know.
Liverpool in all red, West Ham in their change strip of the white shirts and socks and the claret shorts. And Danny Ings will get us underway here on Talksport 2 for Carabao Cup action live here from Anfield. It's rolled back to Maximilian Kilman and he will hit a diagonal ball out to this near side looking for Thomas Souček, and it's flicked out of play by Gakpo for an early West Ham throw. And we're underway, Stuart Pearce.
Yeah, Dan's really looking forward to this one. You look around the teams, both teams, and look at a matchup and where is it going to be intriguing. I'm interested to see this matchup, Cresswell and Chiesa. Chiesa making his first start, and obviously Cressy just coming back into the side.
Down the right-hand side, Connor Bradley makes a strong run and wins a corner for Liverpool at the Anfield Road end. Good start down the right-hand side by the young right-back. And there's a slight problem for Somerville, is that back there? Alvarez, who's just picking himself up, just holding the top of his thigh. But Tsimikas has gone across to where the Kenny Dalglish stand meets the Anfield Road end for a left-footed in-swinging corner for Liverpool. There's four Liverpool players standing in or around the goal line. Swung in by Tsimikas, flicked on at the near post and then flicked wide off a Liverpool head. It's a goal kick for West Ham United. Early pressure from the hosts, 0-0.
Well, great corner in, I've got to say, from Tsimikas. He's whipped across just inside the 6-yard box, and I think it was Soufal that got the final touch, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, it was. It should have been a corner.
Should have been a corner. You're dead right.
Referee's missed that one.
Well, Declan Rice hasn't missed. He's put Arsenal in front against Bolton in the 16th minute. That game got underway in the Carabao Cup at 7:45. Arsenal 1, Bolton 0. Scoreless here at Anfield. Fabianski thumps the ball right-footed downfield. It bounces into the path of Bowen on the right wing. Ings tries to cushion a header back to Bowen. He's down by the corner flag. Tried to win a corner off Tsimikas, but that was good defending by the Greek left-back, who just put himself between man and ball. And Kelleher will have Liverpool's goal kick on 2 minutes at 0-0.
Yeah, just saw that one out there. As I say, long ball up, looking for Thomas Souček. He's been that for West Ham for the last probably 5 years. Been a wonderful signing, I've got to say.
He is playing on the right-hand side of a three with Soufal just behind him, Thomas Souček. Endo just at the edge of his own penalty area, forced to go back for Joe Gomez inside his own penalty area. Gomez, his first start of the season tonight, and he has the ball at the edge of the penalty area. He's got Kwanzaa to his right, but he's just drifted forward a little bit outside his penalty area. Now he gives it to young Jarell Kwanzaa, faced up by Ings, so the ball's presented back to Gomez. Fires it along the deck out to the left wing where Cody Gakpo is just shy of the halfway line. Lays it off to Tsimikas. Very patient for Liverpool at this point. Now it goes diagonal from Gomez, looking for Chiesa. Good header by Cresswell, defensively up in the air. Might drop for Nunez. Bradley tries to cushion it down for Endo. Good strength from Wataru Endo. And Liverpool have it on the far side of the field with Connor Bradley. Little ball in intended for Endo, but the chest control took it away from the Japanese midfielder. West Ham can only get it up to halfway, and it's back with Gomez in the centre circle, 0-0.
I'll tell you what, I really like this kid, this fullback Bradley. You know, he's come into the team and he broke in back end of last year, and he's not a regular starter, but he comes on in near enough every game. They trust him, and to get a player of his ilk that's improving game on game is fantastic.
Well, I'll tell you what, Stuart, I saw him play for Bolton in the Football League Trophy final when he was on loan there against Plymouth, and it's rare that you give a fullback man of the match, but he was so good that day, and it was a terrific learning spell for him at Bolton Wanderers. Now he's really pushing for more regular first team football at Anfield, which is great to see. Curtis Jones, local lad, works the ball back to Gomez. Across it goes to Quansah. Quansah, midway point of the West Ham half, just teases it out to Chiesa on the right hand side of the field. Federico Chiesa, ball into the West Ham box, but come to be gobbled up by Maximilian Kilman. Can't call him Max, he wants to be known as Maximilian, so we have to respect that. Given away by West Ham. Jota works it back to Gomez, and now Curtis Jones just in front of the centre circle. 4.5 minutes gone, 0-0 on Talksport 2 in the Carabao Cup between these two Premier League sides. Gomez will give it to Quansah to his right. Now Bradley again, quickly faced up by Somerville, so it goes back to the halfway line, and Ings forces Quansah to go back to Caoimhin Kelleher, who kept goal against Bournemouth as well at the weekend. Alisson still not quite fit. He might be ready for the Wolves game at Molineux at the weekend, but clearly Arne Slot did not want to risk bringing him back too soon. And Kelleher keeps the gloves. Diagonal ball for Liverpool, looking for Gakpo, brings it down on his right foot on the left wing. He's faced up by Soufal, and Bowen comes back really tenaciously to win the ball for West Ham. He has it given back to him by Soufal. Running out of room on this near touchline, Jared Bowen. 3 Liverpool players around him, and one of them dispossesses him in Jones, and then Jones sort of forgets where the ball was and allows West Ham to win it back. It's all a bit scrappy down by this corner flag at the Anfield Road end, and West Ham guilty of giving the ball away again. This time it was Todibo a bit lax in possession, but eventually a free kick's given for a foul on Soufal. And it's a free kick to West Ham. 5 gone, 0-0. Here's Stuart Pearce on Talksport 2.
Yeah, West Ham guilty of turning the ball over there. Jared Bowen taking too many touches, especially when Soufal, the fullback, has gone past him. You can't afford to do that, and they turn the ball over and then give it away again. Pull back to Kilman at the edge of the area, just evaded Chiesa. Now Cresswell's galloping into space down the left-hand side for West Ham, into the Liverpool half. Stops his run and just fires it back to Souček on the halfway line. He tucks it back just inside his own half for Todibo, and a ball out to this near side for Vladimir Soufal. Todibo once more for West Ham United, coming in again. He made his debut in round 2 against Bournemouth, former Barcelona and Toulouse centre-back. Couple of French caps to his name as well, Todibo, at the age of 24. Here's Curtis Jones as Liverpool win it back. Tsimikas inside his own box, leaves it for Gomez, just flicks it to his right for Quansah. Nunez just making a run across the West Ham back line over the halfway line. Needed that goal at the weekend, Darwin Nunez, just to kick-start his season. It's the case with all centre forwards, I suppose, but so much competition for places in this Liverpool side. Bradley, right hand side, looking for a cross into the box. There were 2 in there, Chiesa and Nunez, but it was one back by West Ham. Kilman will clear, first time of asking, left-footed up to the halfway line, but it sails over the head of Ings, drops in midfield. Endo lofts it over a couple of West Ham players, but in doing so presents the ball back to Aaron Cresswell. Neat football from West Ham in their left-back position, looking for an option, but as Stuart Pearce mentioned before kick-off, Danny Ings isn't the sort of player to go in behind and offer a threat in behind that Liverpool back line. It's going to have to come from Bowen and Somerville, I suppose, the threat in behind tonight, isn't it, Stuart?
Yeah, it certainly has. As I say, with Danny Ings, if you're playing against him, you butt up to him, you stop the ball into his feet. He's clever when he receives the ball. He can turn and bring others into it, but you know the threat isn't in behind.
What's noticeable is that West Ham have the ball just outside their own area, and Somerville and Bowen have got chalk on their boots right on the touchline on either side of the field, wanting to receive possession. Somerville has it, actually, but he's had to track all the way back to level with the edge of his own penalty area, and it's back with Lukas Fabianski. Made his last Premier League appearance as a sub against Manchester City. Played 90 minutes though in round 2 against Bournemouth, and gets the nod again here at Anfield tonight.
I just get the impression when you watch certain teams playing out from the back, you can see the game plan of what they're trying to achieve to get up the pitch. With West Ham, they look as though, and we get a brilliant view up here, they're passing at the back just for passing's sake, if you understand what I'm saying.
I do. Not quite the commitment to a preordained idea.
Yeah, a means to an end.
Yes.
You know.
Passing for passing's sake, as you say.
That's the one.
Jones in the centre circle for the hosts. 9 minutes gone on Talksport 2. Still goalless here. Arsenal 1-0 up on Bolton. And Manchester United underway against Twente in the Europa League. That is 0-0 at Old Trafford, live on Talksport. Gakpo slides the ball down the left-hand side. Tsimikas puts the ball into the box and it screws off the outside of Tadebo's boot and goes into the West Ham fans behind the goal. Corner to Liverpool at the Anfield Road end, 0-0.
Yeah, and as I say, just touching on that point again, if you play out from the back and you've not got a vision of how to break the opposition down or the right and wrong places to do it, you'll end up ceding possession.
Tsimikas will take the corner kick for Liverpool where it meets the main stand, so it'll be an out-swinging corner from the Greek international. Chiesa lurking at the edge of the area. It's actually aiming kind of towards him, but it's headed away by Edson Alvarez. Tidied up by Chiesa. Gives it back to Bradley, the last man on the halfway line. Back to Chiesa once more. £10 million. It does sound like one hell of a bargain. Although he's had his injury problems, Federico Chiesa, but only time will tell if that is money exceedingly well spent by Liverpool, who've not been that active in the transfer market.
I think at £10 million, not being active in the transfer market gives them another option in these advanced areas. It's a no-brainer almost.
It could be a very, very canny signing indeed. Liverpool fans making their voices heard as a diagonal ball seeks out Gakpo on the left-hand side, but it skips away from him on the slightly greasy surface. We've got a bit of wind and rain on Merseyside here this evening. There's another storm coming tomorrow, which will be fun. But the playing surface, as usual at these Premier League stadiums, is pretty much faultless. 0-0, 10 minutes gone.
Yeah, it is. Fabianski turning the opportunity down there of playing out from the back, just squeezing up, and obviously target again Souček.
Well, this is one thing that sometimes a lot of clubs should do and don't do, because they're desperate to show what they can do with the ball at their feet in dangerous areas, and it is dangerous quite a lot of the time if the players aren't up to it technically. Ball's out of play for a West Ham throw just over the halfway line here at Anfield. West Ham twice runners-up in this competition, most recently in the 1980-81 season, where they actually lost to Liverpool in a replay at Villa Park. Liverpool went on to win it. 3 times quarter-finalists in the last decade as well, West Ham, but their record here is woeful. More on that in a minute, because they've won a free kick 20 yards inside the Liverpool half of the field. Aaron Cresswell's going to take it. Liverpool holding their line just at the edge of the D. It's only about 5 or 6 yards in from the left-hand touchline. Cresswell standing 3 or 4 paces away from the ball, raises his right arm and delivers the kick. Good pace on the delivery, headed up by Endo, out to the edge of the box where it's knocked down by Alvarez and then lobbed into the box by Bowen. Where's that going to drop? It's volleyed away by Kwanzaa. Endo will then head it further clear to halfway, but it drops at the feet of Cresswell, but knowing that Jota was herring in on him, he had to turn and give the ball back to his keeper Fabianski. He again hits it long, looking for Crescencio Somerville down the left-hand side. What a ball that ended up being by Lucas Fabianski, fully 6 yards right onto Somerville's toe, and he goes down under pressure from Endo, and West Ham have another free kick, a little bit closer to the penalty area this time. 12 gone, 0-0.
Yeah, these are good opportunities. Cresswell got wonderful delivery, as we showed a little bit earlier, where Endo cleared it, and on that occasion the ball was there to be won by Endo, and he's just, for me, gone with his wrong foot. He's dangled his right foot instead of going with his left foot for a block tackle and gives the free kick away.
So Cresswell is indeed standing over this free kick, so it's a bit further infield, almost at the halfway point of the half. Liverpool defending this a little bit deeper on their 18-yard line. Bowen is at the far post. Everyone back in Liverpool red as Cresswell delivers the free kick. Chance for a header from Todibo, puts it wide. Half chance for Jean-Claude Todibo coming forward into the penalty area. but the header went a good 5 or 6 yard wide of Kelleher's right-hand post. First chance of the game, really, 0-0.
Yeah, it certainly was. A great ball in, and to be fair, he's got the other side of the Liverpool back line, and Tsimikas probably just muscled him out, and he's almost run past the ball and had to crane backwards to get it, but potentially should have done better.
Liverpool trying to play the ball out of their own defensive third, make a bit of a hash of it, and Todibo got his foot in. Bowie now drifting in from the right hand side, goes for goal from distance. It was straight at Kelleher, and he got down well at his near post, Caoimhin Kelleher, and made what was in the end a fairly comfortable save, but an effort on target now from West Ham. 0-0.
Yeah, we've seen Bowen do that many times, cutting inside on his left foot, and it just sat up for him, and he thought, you know what, I'm going to have a swing at this.
Well, he's playing some of the best football of his career at West Ham United. He really is enjoying his game, no doubt about that. In the Europa League, Lazio 1-0 up at Dynamo Kiev. That's the only goal we've got in the 8 o'clock kickoffs, and that includes Manchester United against Twente, which is live on Talksport right now. Don't forget, with the app you can just swipe between us and the other game. It's so easy. I can do it, Stuart can do it, anybody can do it. Yes, Stuart, you can do it.
It's above my pay grade, as you know.
The look you gave me told me all I needed to know. 14 minutes gone, 0-0.
Give me a pen and a piece of paper any day, my friend.
Old school. Kwanzaa just shy of the halfway line. Ings trying to close down the space, so Kwanzaa pulls a little Cruyff turn to get away from the former Liverpool man, and now Gomez has it back from Curtis Jones. Liverpool at times very patient at the back as they try and set up play.
Just looking at the midfield three of West Ham, really transient. 1 minute Souček's on the left, next minute he's on the right, and they're trying to get Soler up alongside Ings on the press.
Yeah. My first look at Carlos Soler tonight in a West Ham shirt. Here's Gakpo, left wing for Liverpool, left-hand corner of the box, comes in field, lays it off to Curtis Jones. Jones just chips the ball to the far post, looking for Bradley, who made a run forward. Cresswell gets it clear, and then a second time he has to get rid of it, finds Alvarez. Oh, lovely ball, turn around the corner for Somerville, and it will break for Ings, just shy of the halfway line, and Somerville had continued his run downfield, and a very important interception by the chest of Jarell Kwanzaa to stop the through ball from Ings getting onto Somerville. 0-0.
Well, he started the game in good form, Kwanzaa, I got to say, and Somerville had the run on the back line there. A ball anywhere beyond them, he would have been in, and Kwanzaa managed to get his chest on it and put it out for a throw-in.
Scored 2 and 2 at the end of last season, Jarell Kwanzaa, one of those academy graduates who's been with the club since the old knee-high to a grasshopper line. 5 years of age he joined Liverpool. Slightly wasteful ball forward by Nunez, who certainly wasn't here at Liverpool when he was 5. Souček hits a long, hopeful ball downfield, but that'll skip and bounce away from Somerville and bounces through to Kelleher. Yeah, West Ham's form at Liverpool, you'll probably know this, Stu, because you played here for West Ham. 1 win in 55 visits in all competitions since 1963. That was a 3-0 win in the Premier League era, back in the early stages of the 2015-16 season. And Joe Gomez was playing that night. I think he's the only survivor out there on either side. Gakpo for Liverpool. 16 gone, 0-0. Slides it down the left-hand side of the box for Tsimikas. The cross is just kept away from Liverpool players by Soufal. Kept in play very well by Todibo on this near side. And now Jared Bowen looking to drift over the halfway line, and he's got round Curtis Jones with ease. Now drifting in field. Oh, and he's found Somerville in space, running up to the edge of the area. Heavy touch allowed Bradley to get a touch, and then he's tucked in by Ings, but the offside flag goes up against Danny Ings to deny him a goal against his former club. But Somerville's first touch let him down when he was surely in on goal himself. 0-0.
Yeah, you're right there, but it was all about Bowen. This picked the ball up in his own half, strode through, and he drew 5 defenders to him, and he bisected all them, switch of play, and Bradley it was that managed to get the touch, and Ings just finished off.
Bowen again trying to release Somerville with the ball with the outside of his left foot, this time from the halfway line. Doesn't get the swaz or the swerve he wanted on it, so it goes straight through to Kelleher. But in terms of half chances and, dare I say, gilt-edged chances, it's been West Ham who've carried that threat so far here at Anfield. 18 gone, 0-0. Nunez guides the ball back to Tsimikas on the halfway line. Lopetegui all action down beneath the edge of his technical area. Arne Slot more thoughtful at the edge of his area. Here is Chiesa finding Endo. Bit of space for Curtis Jones in the centre of the West Ham half. Then he was being set upon, so he flicked it back to Endo. Gomez looking to slide it out to the left-hand side, and Gakpo. Bowen intercepts, brought clear by Alvarez. His ball intended in field for Ings, picked off by Curtis Jones, and Jones has it again on halfway. Looking for an option. Gakpo showing for it. He might get it from Jota, does now. Left-hand side, but the offside flag goes up against the Dutchman. And it's a free kick to West Ham this time, 0-0. Stuart Pearce is alongside me this evening.
Yeah, we've got a pretty even game in front of us at the moment. The longer this game goes on at the moment, the more you think probably the substitutes bench might be the impact that both teams will be looking for to break the deadlock the longer it goes on. But certainly West Ham have come into the game a little bit more, grown into the game, and created probably the best opportunity.
We have a double bill on Talksport 2 tomorrow night from the Europa League. Malmo Rangers at 5:45, and then Spurs against the Kazakhstan League leaders Karabakh at 8 p.m. And then we've got more EFL action on Friday. We've got the preview show from 6 with Hugh Rosencroft, and then Plymouth against Luton is our 8 o'clock offering. John Roeder and former Scotland striker Chris Uwelemo will be down at Home Park for that start to your weekend on your home of the EFL, Talksport 2. Now here's Soufal for West Ham, picking it up right hand side. Can he get the cross in from the byline? He can, and Bradley has to head it behind for a corner kick. He didn't really know what was around him, so safety first from Conor Bradley. West Ham have a corner at the Kop end, 0-0.
Yeah, good defending by Bradley there, just helped it on its way, put it behind for a corner. Good defending by the fullback, but I've got to say, you look at the replay of this, and Soufal is one of the best crossers there is in the Premier League. He was right on the byline, looked as though he weren't even going to get there, and he stood it up with an invitation written on the ball, come and get on the end of this, gentleman.
But there was nobody in a white shirt ready to profit from it. But it is a corner to West Ham, where the Kop end meets the Kenny Dalglish stand opposite our commentary position. Cresswell to take it, left-footed outswinger to come from him to around the 6-yard line, headed down, it's stopped in front of goal. Surely they can put it in the back of the net. It's in. He went it off Kelleher. Edson Alvarez was in front of goal. He got stuck under his feet, but there wasn't a Liverpool player within yards of him, and by the time he got something on it, it deflected off Kelleher and into the back of the net. And 21 minutes in, West Ham, who created the better chances, have the lead at the holders of the Carabao Cup, Liverpool. Liverpool 0, West Ham 1.
Well, the ball tossed into the box there, a really big skirmish. Alvarez, it ended up at his feet, and then eventually I think it come off Kwanzaa into the back of the net, and a really, really scruffy goal. And I tell you what, it wasn't even going in. It was going wide, to be fair, across the face of goal, and Kwanzaa has managed, well, I'm not sure how he couldn't react in time, obviously, into his own net.
Endo was trying to clear it, and it hit the left knee of Jarell Kwanzaa and just trickled into the back of the net. And the West Ham fans, 5,000 or so in that bottom tier of the Anfield Road, and you heard them going potty. Arsenal are 2-0 up on Bolton, and Ethan Nwaneri has the second. 17 years of age, his first goal in senior football puts Arsenal in control of that Carabao Cup tie. West Ham in control here, and not many people would have suspected that, Stuart Pearce, after the respective results that these two teams had on Saturday. But then that just goes to show the multiple changes can have an effect.
It certainly can. They've come out with something to prove, and they've grown into the game, West Ham, I've got to say.
Bradley for Liverpool trying to respond halfway through the first half on Talksport 2. Drifts out to the right hand side. He's clipped by Soler and wins a free kick level with the edge of the penalty area at the Anfield Road, in about 2 or 3 yards in from the right hand touchline. So an own goal has West Ham in front, but now they've got some defending to do. 1-0 to West Ham.
Yeah, they certainly have. I just think Conor Bradley's been around the game long enough to know how to buy a foul, that is for sure. But a great opportunity for Liverpool to find the box now.
So Tsimikas is standing over the free kick. He may well take it, but also out there is Chiesa. Might be a right-footed outswinger to keep it away from Fabianski and try and get a Liverpool head on it. Two-man West Ham wall at the edge of the area. It is Chiesa to deliver into the near post. It was looking for Endo and it came off. Gakpo sailed over the crossbar, away from the West Ham fans, knowing that all that comes from it is a West Ham goal kick. 1-0 to the Hammers.
Yeah, good opportunity there. I think it might have been actually Kwanzaa who ended up getting the final touch on that. And as I say, good opportunity, and another one turned down.
Well, before last season, when Liverpool beat West Ham convincingly here 5-1, they hadn't messed with West Ham in the competition since the late 1980s, so 2 meetings in 2 years. But this one, at the moment, not going Liverpool's way at all.
Yeah, they've shown good punch, West Ham, certainly on this right-hand side with Bowen getting forward here and good interaction, and historically West Ham very good at set play, certainly with Souček in and around the front line.
Gomez out to Tsimikas on this near side, midway point of his own half. Has to go back for Jones, who's just dropped between the two centre-halves for the moment. Gomez has it once again. Nunez over the halfway line, trying to run off the shoulder of Todibo. He gets a touch, and now Gakpo is away down the left-hand side, in behind Soufal. Left-hand side of the area, chips it to the far post. Chiesa on the volley, drives it into the deck, and it's slotted in by Diogo Jota for the equaliser. Chiesa volleyed it down into the turf, and Jota running in, beat Fabianski to the ball 3 yards out, and Liverpool were only behind for a couple of minutes before Diogo Jota struck for the equaliser here. Liverpool 1, West Ham 1.
I tell you what, this could be offside. On first viewing of this, I think Gakpo,
there's no VAR, Stu.
No VAR, but I'm telling you, I think Gakpo had just strolled offside slightly, but he done brilliantly once he got in, stood the ball up to the far post, and then from there Chiesa drove it into the turf, and probably I thought Fabianski should have done slightly better, but credit to Jota, brave in the air, got there first.
He was very, very quick, Jota. It's his second goal of the season, scored the opener at Ipswich in the Premier League on the opening weekend. You heard that live on Talksport. One of over 450 live games we're bringing you from so many competitions, including this Carabao Cup. Draw for the 4th round will be made at the conclusion of this game, and you'll hear that and all the reaction to it on the Sports Bar with Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy over on Talksport after 10 p.m. tonight. 26 minutes gone then, all square at 1 apiece, and a little feeling of relief sweeping around Anfield. Again, Gakpo is searched out by a long ball downfield. Soufal's with him this time, getting goal side. Gakpo runs away from him and into the area, or just outside the area, goes down. No free kick, says Andy Madley. Jota keeps play going, switches it to the right-hand side, and Bradley. Now Endo works it back to Gomez. Was that a foul for you on Gakpo, Stuart Pearce?
I think it was. We'll let the game go on. I've got a bigger issue to bring to the fore shortly in a minute.
Jones has possession for Liverpool at 1-1. Gakpo again, this time Bowen's watching him. Midway point of the half, cuts in field from this near touchline. Up to the left-hand corner of the box, Tsimikas. First touch is too heavy. Bowen bringing it away under pressure from first Tsimikas and then Jones, who brings him down and pulls the shirt. Free kick, 1-1. What's your beef then, Stuart Pearce?
Well, firstly, what I would say is I think it was a foul. But what he's tried to do, he's played advantage. There was a couple of nudges on his back. I think it's a foul. I think it's outside the box. But what I would say, and I used to say to referees when I used to play, don't play advantage, give me a free kick on the edge of the box. We're good at free kicks, by the way, you know. So there's the advantage for me, not playing on.
1 apiece. 27 and a half minutes gone at Anfield. Endo has plenty of time to retrieve the ball inside his own half, squares it across for Kostas Tsimikas, and now Endo again into his second season at Liverpool, edging towards 50 appearances after he joined from Stuttgart last summer. Kelleher gives the ball to Joe Gomez, midway point of his own half, faced up by Ings. Kwanzaa probably be breathing a bit of a sigh of relief now that his own goal's been cancelled out as quickly as it has. Finds Bradley just shy of the halfway line. Nunez now making a run, trying to get in between centre halves, but the ball intended for him was cut out by Kilman. The flick on by Soler down the left-hand side for West Ham, but it'll just drift out of play on that far side, and Bradley will take a quick throw. Just a hush descends on Anfield, almost for the first time this evening. I spoke too soon. Back they come, the Liverpool fans. There's not many empty seats. You know, sometimes Carabao Cup ties don't stir the blood of Premier League supporters, but I can't see many empty seats in evidence here tonight, Stuart Pearce.
No, there's hardly any, Dance, to be fair, and I think a lot of that's down to the fact you can't get a game for a ticket for a Premier League game. So
very true.
When it comes to the cup games, it gives people the opportunity to get to games as well as the season ticket holders.
And they were all on the M6 this afternoon.
In front of you.
In front of me. 1-1. Ball's infield from Gakpo to Jones. Tsimikas into the centre circle for Jarell Quansah. Good ball, slid out to Bradley on the right wing, level with the edge of the area, 3 to aim at with a cross, goes beyond all three of them, but Gakpo picks it up far post, and the shot is deflected by Bowen just wide for a Liverpool corner at the Anfield Road end. 1-1.
Well, I've got to say, Bradley had the ball out wide there, just on the edge of the box, and he should have probably played it slightly earlier. Chiesa made a great run, put the brakes on, and was screaming for it around the penalty spot. He's ended up putting it across the back of the goal, and then Gakpo, it arrived at his feet, and a great strike deflected wide.
So it is a corner for Liverpool at the Anfield Road end. Tsimikas has gone across to take it. Another left-footed in-swinger to come from him, and once again a packed 6-yard box, swung into the far post, headed out by Kilman, picked up by Jones, and he will knock it back under a bit of pressure to Bradley. Diagonal ball back into the box, overhit, intended for Quansah. West Ham have themselves a goal kick. We played half an hour here on Talksport 2 at Anfield. It's 1-1 in the Carabao Cup third round. Arsenal 2-0 up on Bolton, and live over on Talksport right now in the first Europa League game of their campaign. Manchester United still goalless against FC Twente.
I think both teams will be quite happy with the start they've had in the games. West Ham certainly taking the lead and probably playing some decent football, to be fair, and improving as the game's gone on.
Souček again popping up on the left-hand side in West Ham's midfield. Liverpool win it back. Jota scored the equaliser. Clipped there by Alvarez. That's a very easy free kick for Andy Madley to award. So Liverpool will have this about somewhere between 25 and 30 yards out, and a little way to the left of centre. Somebody's going to have a go at goal here, I reckon, Stuart.
Well, they might bring Trent on to do so, potentially, you know, who knows.
Special teams.
Indeed.
Well, the three players standing over it, Tsimikas, Chiesa and Gakpo. Meanwhile, there's a three-man West Ham wall being set up by the goalkeeper, Lucas Fabianski, and that wall's just outside the 18-yard line, next to the D.
Yeah, I think if anyone's going to have an attempt here, and I think it's too far,
Tsimikas actually lifts it into the box, and it's flicked by Endo to the far post and goes beyond everybody. We were waiting for Chiesa to strike it, weren't we, Stuart?
Yeah, as I say, I think you're talking about 30 metres out there. I think it was pretty optimistic to have a go from goal. I'll tell you what, it's going to bring the point up, the amount of headed goals that Jota gets. You know, sometimes if you're a little one but got a good leap and you're brave, you really can find some space in the box.
And he was brave. It wasn't just Fabianski he was up against, there was the defender back there as well. But he made it 1-1. Little Cruyff turn from Todibo this time. And again, to get away from Nunez. Soufal in the right back position. Got two Liverpool players trying to close down the space. Now it's fired downfield by Todibo, straight onto the chest of Endo. But good strength from Alvarez. Gets it up to the halfway line, but the ball just squirms away from Bowen. And Quansah has it back for the hosts.
Yeah, that just goes back to my point earlier. There was no vision of where they were trying to play there. It was just a case of, I'm not going to play the ball more than 10 yards, and eventually they just give it away because their options run out, and it encouraged Liverpool.
Goal in the Europa League, and Nice 0, Real Sociedad 1. Only 2 goals then in the 8 o'clock kickoffs. Lazio leading in Kiev, the other one. Manchester United goalless against Twente. And Arsenal, if you're just tuning in, 2-0 up on Bolton in their Carabao Cup side. That is pretty much at half time. Here at Anfield, we've still got 12 minutes plus added time to go in the first half of this Carabao Cup tie. 1 apiece. West Ham with a goal kick. Fabianski again. Well, actually under pressure from Nunez, who nearly took it off his toe. Fires it down to the halfway line. Straight down the throat of Wataru Endo. Heavy touch from Bradley. Souček goes in on him to try and win it back. And West Ham have got themselves the throw. Bradley thought that throw was his, but it's been given to the visitors.
Yeah, West Ham just nearly got caught there at the back playing. Just want to be a little bit careful. It just encourages Liverpool to come onto them.
Throw for West Ham. Thrown back into their own half, and Kilman will guide it down for Todibo. And he will stroke it out to Soufal inside his own half, up to the halfway line. Bowen immediately turns it around the corner for Ings. Ings was trying to lay it off to Alvarez, made a mess of it, and now Liverpool trying to counter with Chiesa, but he ran into Kilman, who got an important footing for West Ham. And now Bowen's on his bike, trying to latch onto a ball floated down the right-hand side by Ings, but Gomez comes across and tidies up for Liverpool. 1-1.
Yeah, Liverpool show that they can good at counter-attack. If you give the ball away in cheap areas, they'll be straight at you, as they showed then.
Alvarez for West Ham finds Bowen. 3 Liverpool players around him, including Nunez. Little clever flick in field from the Uruguayan, and then Liverpool give up the ball, and Alvarez wrestles Tsimikas out of the way as the ball goes into the path of Arne Slot for a throw, but a free kick's already been given for a foul by Alvarez, and Tsimikas will take the free kick with 10 minutes to go to half time here at Anfield.
Yeah, my first thoughts there, that weren't a foul, but the referee didn't seem to give it, and then complaints from the management team seemed to sway his mind.
You've never managed to change a decision from your position as David Moyes' assistant, did you?
Never, not once.
Oh, it works at Anfield. Ball's with Kwanzaa just over the halfway line. Bradley out on the right hand side, faced up by Somerville. Endo will knock it back into the centre circle for Gomez. Tsimikas quickly faced up by Bowen, has to give it back to Gomez. Ball got stuck under his feet a little bit, but he still turned away from Ings successfully enough. Kwanzaa will guide it back to Caoimhin Kelleher, nearing 50 appearances in all competitions, and that's in the best part of a decade. He really has been drip-fed appearances, Caoimhin Kelleher, since 2015. Manchester United have the lead against FC Twente, and it's Christian Eriksen who has the goal. Live on Talksport at Old Trafford. Lazio have got a second in against Dynamo Kiev, and that's half-time at Arsenal as well, by the way. 2-0 to the Gunners against League One Bolton Wanderers. It's a long time since Sam Allardyce's Bolton used to rub Arsene Wenger's Arsenal up the wrong way with the games they used to play when it was known as the Reebok. Here's Bradley for Liverpool at 1-1. Out to the right-hand side, Chiesa. Quite peripheral Chiesa in these early stages, isn't he, Stuart Pearce?
Yeah, he certainly is. He's holding his width there. He's a clever player, intelligent. He knits in with other players, and he's had a decent start to the game.
He is, as you say, free as a bird over on that right-hand side in front of the Kenny Dalglish stand if they want to use him, Liverpool. Ball's with Bradley. Gives it back to the halfway line, and Kwanzaa. Back again for Bradley. They won't use Chiesa this time. They might spread play to the left here, Liverpool, attacking the Anfield Road end in this first half. And it's back from Tsimikas into his own half. 8 minutes to half time. Now Chiesa gets it over on the far side. Immediately Cresswell closes down the space, but a lovely ball flicked down the line for Bradley, who'd underlapped ahead of Chiesa. He gives it back to the Italian, drifting infield for Liverpool, trying to keep the ball away from Soler. Now Gomez tries to go through the gears, slip it down the left-hand side for Tsimikas. Tsimikas runs into Bowen. West Ham should get it clear, and it goes out off Tsimikas' body right in front of Julian Lopetegui, who nearly got flattened by at least 2 or 3 players in his immediate vicinity, and West Ham have a throw.
I must tell you a story quickly about, I was Forest manager. We played away at Birmingham. Gary Rowett was a Birmingham manager, and the ball was handled off the line by Britt Asabalonga. The referee gave a corner. Gary Rowett looked at me and went, "He's handballed that, it's a penalty." I said, "Yeah, I know." the fourth official heard us both on agreement that it was handball and told the referee, and the referee changed his mind and gave a penalty.
You've done yourself there. How about custard pieing yourself?
I know. I went up to the officials afterwards and said, to be fair, you got to the right decision eventually, even though it didn't help me out on my managerial credentials.
No. That was the late winner as well. I think I was there that day.
Yeah.
At St Andrews. One of our numbers is here in the away section, supporting West Ham. I might out him in a minute if I'm not careful. Here's Jota for Liverpool at 1-1. Out to Gakpo, left-hand corner of the penalty area. Comes in field, finds Chiesa left-hand side of the box, trying to scheme his way towards the dead ball line. Plays it through the legs of Soufal, rolls it back to the 6-yard line, and Soler put in a vital challenge after some wonderful skill from Federico Chiesa. Offside flag's gone up in the end anyway. But that's an example of just how skillful this Italian player is. 1-1.
Yeah, clever. I remember watching him for Italy in the summer. I thought he was probably their standout player for the game that certainly I watched. I think it might have been Albania or something in one of the games. He played very, very well in that game. Very intelligent.
He's won over 50 caps for his country, Federico Chiesa. But he had 10 months out in 2022 with horrible ACL injury, but he's back and he's on Liverpool's books. And Quance's just given away a corner, just a long hopeful ball hit down the left channel for Somerville to give chase, and he gave chase gamely for West Ham, and in doing so Quance just almost accidentally put the ball behind with his thigh for a West Ham corner at the Kop end. 1-1.
Yeah, it's little interactions like that will give West Ham a real lift, I think. Certainly getting their goal from a corner beforehand. He's been a bit periphery today, hasn't he, Somerville? Not much play's gone on the left-hand side there for West Ham.
He's had good times here for Leeds United, if I remember rightly. Here he is with his new team, but he's waiting next to Cresswell in case he wants a short corner, but it's going to be a left-footed outswinger most likely from Cresswell. Again, raises his right arm, fires it into the 6-yard line. Alvarez went up for a header, drops for Bone at the edge of the box, and he volleyed it into the deck, and Endo headed it out of the area. Lovely close control on this near side from Ings, and he was pushed over by Darwin Nunez, and that's a free kick to West Ham, level with the Liverpool penalty area on the right-hand side. One apiece with 4 minutes to half-time, plus whatever Andy Maddy wants to add on. Yeah. Another good chance to get the ball into the danger zone here for West Ham.
Well, amateurish mistake really from Nunez. Ings done brilliantly pulling the ball out the sky, but he's facing away from goal. He's 3 yards off the touchline, and Nunez bundles him over.
So Cresswell again, but this time as he's on the right-hand side, this free kick's going to swirl in towards Caoimhin Kelleher. Liverpool holding their defensive line level with the penalty spot. One or two West Ham players standing in offside positions at the moment, as Cresswell just standing slightly off the pitch, addresses the ball, left-footed delivery, swirls it in, flicks onto the far post, almost dropped for Bowen, headed away in the nick of time by Bradley. Bowen and Jota both going for the same ball, and it came out off a West Ham player last of all. Little bang on the hip for Conor Bradley, means he gets to his feet a little awkwardly, but it will be a Liverpool throw. I think Bradley's been told, come on son, get on with it, your hip's all right, go and take the throw.
Yeah, great ball in once again by Cresswell, whips it in with great curl, not much height on it, but just enough to avoid the first blockers, and it was Souček who got the flick on.
And actually Bradley did really well to just flick the ball away from Bowen, who was waiting at the far post in case it dropped out of the sky for him to try and get a shot on target. 3 minutes to half time plus stoppages. One apiece in the Carabao Cup. An own goal from Quance put West Ham ahead, but it was only a couple of minutes before Jota headed Liverpool level. The 10 times winners, record extending 10th win in February against Chelsea with that extra time winner from Virgil van Dijk, who is amongst the Liverpool substitutes tonight. Their bench looks incredibly strong in case they do need to call for the cavalry in the second half. Throw to West Ham in their right back position. A few West Ham subs come to warm up, thus the applause that you can hear from those West Ham fans away to our left hand side. Ball drops on halfway, and Quance drops his shoulder, gets away from Bowen, and fires the goal back to his goalkeeper Kelleher. Right foot, drives it down the centre of the field. Jota goes up for a header. Kilman didn't win it. hooked away from danger, at least temporarily, by Todibo. And then Somerville, having to track back and do some defensive work for West Ham, finds Cresswell, and then Alvarez puts the ball straight out of play for a Liverpool throw, which they take quickly. Guided in field to Jones. Gets the ball run across his body and then strokes it across to Gomez, and then across to Tsimikas. Is there going to be another chance before half-time for either of these teams to take a lead in at the break? Quansah out to Chiesa, stationed on that right wing in front of the supporters in the Kenny Dalglish stand. Thinks about going on the outside of Cresswell, holds his run for a moment, now level with the edge of the penalty area. Rolls it back to Quansah. Give it back to Chiesa, actually, because Cresswell's now gone in field. Chance maybe for Chiesa to measure a crossing. Does that. Headed up in the air by Kilman. Somerville should be able to prevent the corner. Heads it up in the air and away from Chiesa. And he'll let it drop out of play for a throw-in on the far side. We're in the last minute of normal time. Still 1-1.
Yeah, not much to choose between both of the sides, you know. Liverpool being way out favourites prior to the game, but certainly it's pretty even Stevens at the moment, Dan.
Well, certainly West Ham are playing better than they did against Chelsea on Saturday, when defensively they just allowed Chelsea to stroll through them almost at will at times. I don't think Nicholas Jackson could believe his luck. One last chance maybe for Liverpool in this half. It's Chiesa, gets the ball onto his left foot at the right hand corner of the box, but couldn't wrap his foot round it enough, or indeed keep it low, and it's a goal kick to West Ham. And we're about to find out how many extra minutes we're likely to have at the end of this first half. I can't think of any stoppages. There's just 1 minute that we're into right now here at Anfield on Talksport 2.
Yeah, Chiesa done well coming inside, but he didn't set himself. He's had a swing at it, trying to hit it with his laces outside of the foot, and the curler with the inside of his foot would have been the option.
Lazio 3-0 up against Dynamo Kiev. Midtjylland 1-0 up on Hoffenheim. Slavia Prague 1-0 up at Ludogorets. Manchester United are now at half-time 1-0 up against FC Twente. That goal from Christian Eriksen. And we're approaching half-time here as well, with 36 seconds of that minimum 1 minute already played. Fabianski with the ball in his hands will clear downfield out towards the right-hand side. Souček the obvious target, but it's won comfortably by the head of Joe Gomez. Drops on the halfway line. Jones heads it infield. Jota can't get the better of Kilman, and he will send Bowen away down the right-hand side. Somerville's waiting for a cross into the box. Bowen sends it across. It won't find its way through to Somerville because of a vital interception from Quansah, and that's the last action of the half as Andy Madley brings the first half to a close. It's all square in this Carabao Cup third round tie. West Ham fans away to our left were jubilant midway through the half when a corner kick from the left-hand side from Cresswell found itself at the feet of Alvarez on the 6-yard line. He couldn't get the shot away, got stuck under his feet, and as Wataru Endo cleared the ball, it smacked against the knee of Jarell Quansah and went into the back of the net at the Kop end for 1-0. But only a couple of minutes later, Liverpool got themselves back on terms, and Diogo Jota was on hand after Chiesa's shot from the edge of the box, driven into the turf, bounced up. Jota gambled just inside the 6-yard box, beat Fabianski and the defender to the header, and making it one apiece. And that's the half-time score. Stuart Pearce alongside me tonight for Talksport 2.
Yeah, I think certainly after West Ham's weekend and start to the season, they'll be delighted with this performance, and more importantly the result. I think they've come into the second half and got first half and got stronger and stronger. Liverpool, I was expecting them to be cutting West Ham open a touch more than they actually were, Dance.
This is better from West Ham. I said it just a couple of minutes ago in commentary, compared to, it's not night and day from what we saw at home to Chelsea, but the West Ham travelling contingent will be very encouraged with what they've seen, won't they, by and large?
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, but you've got to bear in mind they're away at Liverpool. It's not an easy place to come. Their record suggests that over many decades, you know, so they're in the game as we stand.
Penny for Arne Slot's thoughts at half-time?
I think he'll be slightly disappointed with his team's performance, you know, not to cause problems at the front end of the team. I think he'll have it on his mind, look, do I have to reach to the substitutes bench, the likes of Salah maybe,
coming on, having an impact in this game. But then again, probably both managers won't really want to go to penalties.
Full second half commentary to come here at Anfield. Maybe penalties, because as things stand, that's what we're set for in this Carabao Cup tie. You'll hear from the likes of Son Heung-min in a moment in our half-time break, with Spurs in Europa League action along with Rangers live on this station tomorrow evening. But the half-time score here at Anfield in the Carabao Cup is Liverpool 1, West Ham United 1.
The epicentre of world-class football coverage.
And he finds the bottom corner!
The League Cup live on Talksport 2.
Tower, this is cargo flight EY717 requesting permission to...
Sit down, please. Let's all log into our computers and start the lesson.
From aviation to education, 3 Business is boosting connectivity. Imagine how the UK's fastest 5G network could connect your business. 3.
Fastest 5G based on Ookla speed test intelligence data H2 2023. See 3.co.uk/big network.
When you drive the new all-electric Ford Explorer, you might just find yourself going further and further and further and further than you expected. With a range of up to 374 miles on a full charge, where will the Ford Explorer take you? Book a test drive today. Search Ford 48-hour test drive. Ford, bring on tomorrow. T's and C's apply. Range based on official test data and may vary in different driving conditions.
Get that Euro Millions feeling with this Friday's £107 million super jackpot. So super, you've got to dance. So let's dance like never before. On a beach, on your own private island. Euro Millions from the National Lottery. Play on app. Estimated jackpot, subject to currency fluctuations. Account terms, rules and procedures apply. Players must be 18 or over.
At AJ Bell, we're all about making investing easy. It's why Which rate nobody higher than us for ease of use. So easy, anyone can invest. Your mum, your nan, a nan's nan, a nan's nan's mum, a man named Ron, Don, a dog named Dom, or a tomcat called Tom, a baker, a banker, a waiter, a tank engineer, even someone called Barry.
Hello.
Yes, an actual Barry. Can invest easily with AJ Bell. AJ Bell, feel good investing. The value of your investments can go down as well as up.
At Barclays, we're here for every goal. We're here for the Premier League and the Barclays Women's Super League. We're here for the football chants and for giving more girls a chance. We're here for the grassroots and all the muddy boots. From schools to stadiums, we're here for it all. Barclays, here for every goal.
What else can hurt you like this?
It's a calamity in Copenhagen for Manchester United.
And then send you into a state of complete euphoria.
Watkins! What a brilliant Villa move!
Watch over 185 UEFA Champions League games and every match of the UEFA Europa League and Conference League, only on TNT Sports. Only sport can do this.
This Saturday,
Game day is go.
it's the ultimate heavy-hitting Premier League experience.
Exclusive rights to 2 massive Saturday games.
What a winner!
Newcastle versus Manchester City. Kick-off 12:30
On Talksport.
Steals the point!
Chelsea versus Brighton. Kick-off 3 p.m.
On Talksport 2.
Dynamic and dazzling.
100% total football. Each and every weekend.
Game day.
On Talksport and Talksport 2.
Hard-hitting football coverage.
And he scored!
The games, the goals, and the glory. The League Cup live
On Talksport 2.
Sonny just peeled back, he shoots on the volley into the roof of the net. Min Song scores again.
It's a dream. There is no hiding about this, and so I think that's what we work for. Obviously, not a big competition that everybody wants to win.
Back for Vasovic, they've worked it really well. Janino fires it in, keeper can't get there. Janssen with a header, and Pontus Janssen has headed in. Now Lawrence, Thomas
promising, this. It's very promising for Tom Lawrence.
Rangers could do with a good start. There will be pressure on them to get a result in Malmö, and there will be pressure on Rangers for the right reasons, I think.
Welcome back to Anfield on Talksport 2 in the Carabao Cup. 1-1 here at half-time between Liverpool and West Ham. I'm Ian Danter. Stuart Pearce is alongside me on commentary. Arsenal have just gone 3-0 up early in the second half, and Ethan Nwaneri has just got his second of the night. What a night for the youngster to make it 3-0 for Arsenal. They will be through into the fourth round draw that will take place after 10 o'clock this evening. You'll hear that on the sports bar and reaction to it from Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy. Elsewhere in the Europa League, it finished in the tea-time kickoffs. AZ 3, Elfsborg 2 and Bodo Glimt 3, FC Porto 2. Half-times elsewhere: Anderlecht 0, Ferencváros 0, Dinamo Kiev 0, Lazio 3, FC Midtjylland 1, Hoffenheim 0, Galatasaray 0, PAOK 0, Ludogorets 0, Slavia Prague 1, Manchester United 1, FC Twente 0. That's live on Talk Sport tonight. Christian Eriksen with the first half strike, putting United ahead, and Nice 1, Real Sociedad 1. A reminder that tomorrow night we've got a double bill here on Talksport 2 of Europa League action. Rangers travel to Sweden to take on Malmö at 5:45 before Spurs host Qarabag, the Kazakhstan League leaders, at 8 p.m. Let's hear from the Spurs captain, Son Heung-min. He's added his voice to those calling for the football schedule to be reduced. The Europa League has been expanded like the Champions League has, and there's the new version of the Club World Cup due next summer. But speaking today with TalkSport's Ian Abraham, Son has praised the likes of Alisson and Rodri for being so vocal about the topic.
I think it was very important to someone actually come up to and say the right things. Sometimes players are the main guys to have to say something, and it's definitely a lot of games, and as a football fan or as a who loves football, you want to see quality of the game, not many games as possible, and you don't want to see people struggling with the injuries, and which is I think it's definitely a lot of games, a lot of traveling, which is we have to look after ourselves, and which is sometimes it's also very hard, and sometimes you're mentally, physically you're not ready, and then you're going into the pitch. Obviously, then the risk of injury is massive. So we are not robots. So I think we just definitely have to looking after that and reduce the game definitely, and can play better. Quality of game is definitely. I think this is should be the aim.
If you play too many games, or you're saying you play too many games, first of all, last year Spurs only played 40 games because they were knocked out early in the League Cup and the FA Cup. But what tournaments do players not want to play in then? Because if I said to you, you want to play in the League Cup, chance to win that, first time in 20 years for Spurs, you'd say, yeah. Same with the FA Cup. Obviously, Premier League, Europe, internationals. I mean, you want to play in everything anyway, don't you?
Yeah, but don't get me wrong. We love playing football. That's clear, because that's why we work to be here. But do you know how much we're traveling and how much we're playing games? That's not only just about the games. That preparing, the mentally, physically. I think it's a lot of work, and I think the program was adding even more games. And for example, like City games, they play on Sunday and Tuesday. This was not even flexible, so it could move probably for the guys play Wednesday instead of Tuesday, So, but it's not fixable, so we are not flexible. I think this is we are talking about, and there's no more that everybody get injury and high risk of the injury. I think is not fair, I would say, and Rodri would say the right things. We play maybe 50, 60 games and not more than 70 games. I think this is not fair.
So if there are more games, would you be in favour of going on strike, because that's the only way players putting their view forward?
No, I mean, you wanna go to the final and play a lot of games. That's different scenario. But what I want to say is that platform, for example, we are talking about the Champions League. You change the platform to play even more games, and I think this is not right to looking after the players, Just that's what we are talking about. And what we can do is we definitely can change about it, and we can definitely going in a good way that people they can looking after the players.
Son Heung-min speaking very, very intelligently indeed about the workload that he sees facing players. Stuart Pearce is alongside me. Your playing and managerial career, Stuart, straddled kind of both the pre and post Premier League eras, so you're as well placed as anybody to talk about the workload that you think modern players are under. What do you make of what Son's had to say there?
Couple of things. Having a Club World Cup in the summers, for me, is a massive no-no. You know, the summers for major international tournaments and that alone. So I'm not in favour of that. But what I would say is the managers and the clubs who've got responsibility for picking their players, they can pick their players accordingly. And if they think players need a rest, the first thing that the conditioning people do, they run to you at the merest hint of players going into the red zone and making you acutely aware of it. So I can understand both sides of it. I think also the clubs have got a duty of care. Bear in mind, Tottenham got on an aeroplane and went to Australia when the season ended, I do believe, at the end of this year. You know,
there are some accusations of hypocrisy that get thrown at clubs. Maybe not so much as players, because players do the club's bidding. But I do wonder, when you look specifically at the Club World Cup, whether there might be sufficient pushback on that. But Infantino was calling an emergency meeting, wasn't he, of FIFA to try and get this thing pushed through. So there could be an awful lot more headlines about that tournament before we even get to Christmas, Stuart.
Yeah, I can't see that being workable. I don't know why they do that. I really, that shouldn't be in the calendar for me. But certainly all the other competitions that we've got, I don't see a problem with that. The onus at that stage is on. It's like Declan Rice tonight. Declan's playing against Bolton tonight.
Yep. If
you wanted to rest Declan, there's 3-0 up at half time. I don't know whether he's still on the pitch now. He might be one of those individuals that plays a lot of games. The same was said of Harry Kane a few years ago. Harry Kane, Tottenham go 5-0 up in games. Harry Kane plays 90-odd minutes, and
well, you've made me look, and he's still out there.
Yeah, so
played 57 minutes and no changes yet from Arsenal, 3-0 up.
Well, point in case, for me, I'm not singling out Arteta in any way, shape or form, but if you want to look after your players that are going to be wheeled out week in, week out, there's a great point in case. You've started Declan Rice, take him off when your team are in front.
Bolton have just got a goal back, actually. It is 3-1.
Bring him back on then.
Aaron Collins has got a goal back for the Trotters. Players are back out here, and the ground staff, about a dozen of them, all with the pitchforks and rakes, making sure that this pristine surface remains so. But just moving their way off the pitch. Liverpool will get things underway in all red, heading for the Cop End as they love to do in the second half of games. West Ham in that change strip of white shirts and socks, claret shorts. I'll run you through the lineups whilst Andy Madley prepares to get us back underway. Liverpool have Kelleher in goal. As we are now underway, Liverpool getting things started. Bradley, Kwanzaa, Gomez, Tsimikas at the back, Endo and Jones holding, Chiesa, Jota the goal scorer, and Gakpo behind Nunez in attack. Remember, it was an own goal that put West Ham ahead from Kwanzaa. West Ham have Fabianski in goal, Soufal, Todibo, Kilman, Cresswell, Souček, Alvarez, Soler, Bowen, Somerville and Ings. Conor Bradley, who is at right back, just guides the ball back to Jarrell Kwanzaa. Gomez looks for Costa Tsimikas, who floated the ball down the left-hand side. I think he thought that Gakpo was making a run, but as he was shaping to hit it, Gakpo just held his run and stayed on his heels. Nunez trying to knock it down for Jota, but cleared away by West Ham United. So no changes at the break. And remember, if things stay level at 90 minutes, we will have what we had at the Poundland Bescot Stadium last night, when Walsall and Leicester drew 0-0 after 90 minutes and went straight to penalty kicks. Leicester going through all three of Walsall penalties saved. What a ball from Jota out to Gakpo, left hand side of the area, floats it to the far post, and it's kept away from Chiesa, jumping up and down, annoyed because Cresswell just flicks it away from him in the nick of time. It is, though, a corner to Liverpool at the Cop End, 1-1.
Yeah, great ball there. Just Soufal just over covered slightly, and when the ball come in, West Ham will first contact on it.
Corners of Liverpool.
Tsimikas to take it. Just down to the right of our commentary position. Left-footed in-swing hits the first defender, does it? Yeah, out to the edge of the area. Brought down by Curtis Jones. And Jones, who had plenty of time to set himself for the shot. By the time he got it away, he was being closed down by Danny Ings, and he lifted it high into row Z of the Kop stand. A couple of minutes gone, second half on Talksport 2. Still 1-1.
Yeah, as I say, I can't help thinking that both managers, if the scoreline stays the same, will be looking at their substitutes to come on, have impact and turn this game in their favours.
It is a very strong bench for Liverpool, as I mentioned, with the likes of Salah, Alexander-Arnold, Van Dijk, all there in case. Here's Somerville for West Ham, scampering infield to get away from Bradley, plays it up to the edge of the area, claims for handball against Gomez. Nothing doing, says Andy Maddy, very quick to wave those protests away from West Ham, but it's out on the right wing for the visitors with Jared Bowen. Works it back to Soufal. We didn't get a particularly good view of that, Stuart Pearce, did we?
No, but I think it's been a really good initiative, I've got to say, because referees have not looked at it and thought, is that handball? The ball shot up at his arm, Dance. You know, you can't get out of the way of that. So I'm pleased. I think it's improved the game, that initiative this year.
Although there's still controversy that follows handball around, as we saw at the Vitality Stadium with Bournemouth Newcastle and the fabled T-shirt line. All that sort of malarkey. Throw into Liverpool in their left-back position. Ian Danter and Stuart Pearce with you. Thanks for choosing Talksport 2 tonight. Full commentary of this Carabao Cup third round tie. 1-1 between the two Premier League sides. West Ham win it back. Bowen clipped it in field. It almost ran through for Ings inside the area, but a Liverpool toe end on it kept it away from the former Liverpool striker. And here comes Jones looking out for Gakpo on the left wing, with Liverpool attacking the Kop end in this second half. Chiesa pulling away to the right hand side. Jones has it back, great run into the area and stroked home by Diogo Jota for 2-1. Liverpool have turned it around early in the second half. Jones made a terrific run up to the edge of the area, slipped it through for Jota, and a cool, calm finish past Fabianski puts Liverpool in control of this cup tie. Liverpool 2, West Ham 1.
Well, you've got to say, brilliant play there by Curtis Jones. Kept the ball really tight to his feet, committed a couple of West Ham defenders, slid the ball through to Jota. They literally swept the ball from one end of the pitch to the other. Great build-up, and Jones was integral in the build-up in his own half. And basically, he's followed his through pass, received again, and it was his play. Basically, he's been involved in the play from the edge of his box and right the way through, and he found a brilliant pass and a great finish by Jota.
Plenty of room he had to operate, though, I will say, in the centre of that West Ham half to execute the pass for Jota. And it's 2-1 Liverpool on Talksport 2 as we have 5 minutes gone in this second half. Here's Gomez giving the ball back to Quansah in his own half. Bradley now. So Jota now has 3 goals for the season. Hadn't scored since the opening weekend at Ipswich. But such a clever player. This time not using his head for a change, Stuart. Using his right foot.
Yeah, indeed. It was a really composed finish. Sometimes you can panic a little bit in those positions. He just opened his body up and fed it into the far corner.
And so West Ham have work to do. So they have a throw in right next to Julian Lopetegui, stood at the edge of his technical area. Thrown back into their own half. Todibo out to the right hand side and Soufal. Good ball in field and a lovely turn from Jared Bowen. Somerville and Cresswell both calling for it on this left hand side. It finds Cresswell. Now Somerville level with the edge of the area, drifts inside. Bradley goes down again. Half-hearted claims for a penalty, mostly from the West Ham supporters, not given. Cresswell has a cross that's blocked, might have it again. 10 yards from the dead ball line. Infield to Souček, works it back into midfield for Alvarez. West Ham keeping possession well. Now here's Kilman, just in front of the halfway line, guides the ball back for Fabianski. You wonder whether West Ham might call for the cavalry first, Stuart. Looking at their options on the bench, they've got Antonio and Kudus as attacking options, and they've also got Lucas Paquetá, who didn't play particularly well, I thought, against Chelsea on Saturday.
No, he's had a slow start to the season.
But we know his quality.
Oh, he's certainly got
temporary,
quality.
class is permanent, all that.
Yeah.
Liverpool in possession just over the halfway line with Bradley. Knocks it back into his own half for Quansah. Now Gomez. Ings closing down the space. Goes into the feet of Wataru Endo. And I think Lopetegui is not far away from getting a word in his shell like from Andy Madley, because he's had plenty to say to the fourth official. Well, in the wake of that penalty that was not awarded.
He was sledging the referee, shouting onto the referee about the handball and whatever.
Jones again, quick feet from him out to the left wing. It's left for Gakpo. Tsimikas on the overlap to the dead ball line. Chips it back over the head of Nunez. It almost dropped for Jota, but actually collided with Somerville, who was trying to clear it. Inadvertently fouled Somerville. Didn't really know that Somerville was there behind him. Here's a free kick, though, to West Ham in their own penalty area. 2-1 Liverpool on Talksport 2, and Fabianski really quick to thump the ball downfield, looking for Jared Bowen. That's great defending from Joe Gomez. Put himself between man and ball and just let that ball drift out over the touchline for a throw-in on the left-hand side. So we played 8 minutes rather of the second half on Talksport 2. 2-1 Liverpool. Arsenal now 4-1 up against Bolton. Raheem Sterling has his first goal for his new club. 4-1 to Arsenal, and in the Europa League it is still Manchester United 1, FC Twente 0. That's live on Talksport right now from Old Trafford. As Soufal can't keep the ball in place, he tried to get West Ham going. Suspicion of a foul throw from Cody Gakpo as he put the ball back into play, but assistant and referee were happy enough with that. And it's back with the two Liverpool centre-halves once again, Gomez and Quansah. Ings comes to close down the space. Now Bradley has it. Kelleher will receive the ball inside his own penalty area. Galatasaray lead against PAOK in the Europa League. Pull ball across from Gomez over the head of Bradley, and West Ham have a throw left-hand side, just down beneath our commentary position, level with the edge of the Liverpool penalty area. Cresswell looks for Soufal, tucks it into the area. Ings goes down, again wants a penalty. Gomez was the man at his back. Nothing doing, and now there's a break on for Liverpool. Jota clips the ball to the right. It's taken on down the right-hand side of the box by Darwin Nunez. Bradley calling for it, right-hand corner of the area. Nunez plays it back, looking for Chiesa, but vital foot in from Edson Alvarez, and in the end the ball ricochets through to Lucas Fabianski. And again, West Ham United claiming for a penalty that Andrew Madley was not the least interested in. 2-1 Liverpool.
No, the tolerance level nowadays, this last month, let's say, has gone up a little bit, and penalties are not readily given. And I think he was correct then, personally.
So, Liverpool have turned it around here. And we're 10 minutes into the second half. Bowen runs into Endo. Gomez steps in. Jota tried to flick it forward to Nunez at the edge of the area, but didn't get enough on the pass, and it just rolled through to Fabianski instead. Alvarez for West Ham, out to Soufal, spots Bowen making a strong run down the right-hand side, taking Gomez out there with him. Somerville and Ings waiting for a cross. In it goes. Ings can't get there. Might drop for Souček at the edge of the area. It's cleared out as far as Soufal. Tosses the ball back into the area. Brought down on the chest by Somerville. Can he wrap his foot round and get a shot away? He's got his back to goal. Then he gets his shot away on his left. It's blocked again by Liverpool players. Comes out to Kilman in the centre circle. Soufal in bags of space on the right-hand side, and that's who Kilman was looking for, but he's overhit the pass. He's got too much club on that, and it's out of play for a Liverpool throw-in. But again, West Ham looking a little menacing around the Liverpool penalty area, but just couldn't get the shot away, Stuart Pearce.
No, they couldn't. They had good numbers in the box on that occasion. 3 or 4 players in and around it. Just couldn't get a clear shooting lines, basically, when they got in there. And Liverpool managed to get important touches.
Bowen trying to win the ball off Jota, just inside the Liverpool half of the field. Good foot in from Soler, and the ball breaks in the centre circle, and it's picked up by Alvarez, looking to play it through the middle of the pitch. Weak pass. It was intended for Ings, but very easy for Joe Gomez to just step out and win back. Alvarez slides in and puts the ball out of play for a throw, and pressurising Costas Tsimikas. Waiting for changes to be made. I can see Paquetá is being ready. Mo Salah is also likely to enter the fray for Liverpool. He's just taken off his tracksuit top, but Lucas Paquetá is going to be the first change, it would appear.
With Antonio to follow as well, I think.
Yeah, he seems to be getting ready as well, doesn't he?
Yeah, there's a few coats coming off down there. Wan-Bissaka's is coming off as well. I think it could be a multiple change here.
There's a few iPads out there as well giving instructions down there. Or tablets. Other tablets are available. Liverpool 2, West Ham 1. 57 minutes gone on Talksport 2. Lopetegui now giving some verbal instructions to Paquetá as the ball's sent downfield, looking for an offside Cody Gakpo. And will this herald the changes? Well, Salah's now ready, so he actually may be the first to come on in this game. And indeed it is Mo Salah coming on, and the player coming off. It's a double change. In actual fact, it's not just... It's Chiesa who's coming off and Salah coming on. And also for Liverpool, Alexis McAllister is coming on. So Salah for Chiesa, and the player coming off for McAllister is Jota. So two of the front four are off, Chiesa and Jota. We all know what Salah can do, and indeed Alexis, World Cup winner with Argentina. Big round of applause for Diogo Jota for his 2 goals tonight, Stuart Pearce.
Yeah, really important contribution from him. He's been blighted a little bit by injuries here. It's slowed his progression up, but he's a valuable member of this squad.
Soufal is making way, not Soufal, forgive me, Souček is making way for Paquetá, and Ings coming off to allow Antonio on. So 2 double changes, Antonio and Paquetá on, Souček and Ings off. Now we're ticking round towards the hour mark, so all those changes got half an hour to have an effect for their respective teams. Ball's back with West Ham at the edge of their own penalty area. Alvarez coming between the 2 centre-halves to receive the ball. Now Fabianski just hits it long. Antonio will scrap for that, does well against Gomez. Bowen trying to fire it through, claims for handball against Jared Bowen. Couldn't sneak the ball through to Somerville, but West Ham have it back again with Soufal. Soler on the overlap. Soufal's coming field, chips it into the area. Paquetá tried to get across Kelleher, but Kelleher claimed it very well for Liverpool at the edge of his 6-yard box. 2-1.
Well, any touch there from Bowen initially, and then Paquetá, and that would have been in, but you've got to say Kelleher made his mind up, come out and fielded the ball extremely well.
2-1 it remains on Talksport 2 with an hour played. More live football to come tomorrow. That double bill of Europa League action. Malmo Rangers 5:45, Spurs against Karabakh at 8 p.m. And of course all the reaction afterwards on the sports bar. And then game day on Saturday lunchtime, Newcastle against Manchester City, 2 clubs that Stuart Pearce, my co-commentator, has links with.
Yeah, I'll be up at that game. Be a fantastic game, to be fair.
Yeah, and Newcastle were meant to be playing AFC Wimbledon on Tuesday night in the Carabao Cup. Unfortunately, Wimbledon's enormous pitch problems put paid to that, and that's being replayed, or the fixture's been switched to St James's Park for next week. Also Sheffield Wednesday, West Brom at the same time as that game, live over on Talksport 2, your home of the EFL here, and Chelsea Brighton follows that from Stamford Bridge at 3 p.m. Talksport breakfast back in the morning, Gabby Agbonlahor alongside Alan Brazil. Or if you want a musical start to your day, how about Chris Evans on Virgin from 6:30 in the morning for some tunes to wake you up. Here's Joe Gomez back for Jarell Quansah. Again, Liverpool calmly passing the ball around inside their own half. Somerville comes to try and take the ball off the toe of Bradley, but he quickly flicks it back to Quansah at the edge of the centre circle. Gomez to his left. Gakpo still showing down the line. Might get it from Alexis, and does, and gives it back to the Argentine. Good run from Alexis McAllister. Plays it through to Curtis Jones. Tries to toe-end it past Fabianski. Good one-handed save from the pole to keep it at 2-1 to Liverpool.
I've got to say, super play by Liverpool there. Cut West Ham right open.
Now Antonio's just been wrestled to the ground, and that's a fairly easy yellow card to award to Jarell Quansah as he wrestled quite literally with Michail Antonio, who stayed down in actual fact after that challenge, but it will be, as he's now picking himself up, free kick to West Ham United and our first yellow card of the night.
Yeah, Quansah's just worked out, or should have just worked out. There's no point wrestling Mick. He will come out second best. You've got to play him with your head.
Well, Antonio's now trotted towards the front line. Liverpool, again, a very high defensive line for this free kick. It's about 25 yards inside the Liverpool half of the field. And it will be Cresswell to take it again. Paquetá just trying to drift around to the back post behind Conor Bradley. Cresswell will now deliver it, looking for Kilman to head it up in the air. Headed clear by Quansah, but there was a push on a Liverpool player, and that's a free kick to the hosts, who have Wolves away and then Bologna here live on Talksport next week in the Champions League in a home tie. Then they go away to Crystal Palace to Liverpool, whilst West Ham have got Brentford away next to the London derby, and then home to Ipswich Town before an away trip to their bitter rivals Tottenham Hotspur. Here's Bradley for Liverpool. Lovely crossfield ball. It was intended for Gakpo, well cut out by Soufal in the end. Now Soufal's trying to get clear of Gakpo down the line, can't control the ball. It's out of play for a Liverpool throw. 63 gone, 2-1 to Liverpool on Talksport 2.
Yeah, both teams, Liverpool looking to sort of just keep possession of the ball. Can they get this third goal to put maybe the game beyond West Ham? West Ham always fancy their chances, why it stays as is.
Indeed, only one goal in it, as Stuart Pearce has pointed out just there. Jones, lovely first touch to try and keep it away from Kilman, centre of the West Ham half. Back comes Alvarez, shoulder charge and won the ball fairly, says referee Andy Madley, but then Bowen can't get away from his man. However, the ball's broken for Soler, who goes for goal from distance, and it's pushed wide by Kelleher, who was scurrying back to his goal line. And West Ham have a corner in front of their supporters at the Anfield Road end.
Well, I've got to say, the tolerance for the referee with free kicks and penalty awards has been pretty high, and I've quite enjoyed it, to be quite honest with you, Dance. He's let things go, and it's kept the game going, and West Ham benefited by that, swept up the other end, and Soler tried to creep a little curler into the near post, but Kelleher equal to it.
Yeah, he was backpedaling furiously to narrow his angles. Caoimhin Kelleher did well, but it's a corner where the Anfield Road meets the Kenny Dalglish stand over on the far side of the field. Once again, Aaron Cresswell will deliver the set piece. Just one West Ham player in the 6-yard box. That's Alvarez standing right next to Kelleher. Zonal marking from the Liverpool players. In it comes from Cresswell to the far post, looking for Antonio, who has to dart outside the penalty box to this near side to retrieve the ball. Lovely ball inside for Somerville, into the area, tries to ride the challenge of Salah, comes out to Antonio, angles tight, great save, Kelleher might come out to the edge of the area. Oh, Kilman couldn't get the shot away, couldn't sort his feet out when the goal was gaping 6 yards out. Liverpool escape and stayed 2-1 up.
Well, incredible, really good play by Antonio on this near touch line. He fed Somerville got in the box, fed the ball in. Antonio's had a good shot, good save. Kilman showed great composure, and then almost fell over the ball and lost his legs.
Another let off. 5-1 to Arsenal, by the way. Kai Havertz rubbing salt into the Bolton wound. Free kick for a foul on Tsimikas. 2-1 here to Liverpool, but there's a lot of jeopardy left in this game, Stuart Pearce.
Yeah, there is. West Ham, the substitutions have given more energy, more drive, and they've been on the front foot pretty much. And I think just looking at the bench there for West Ham, and they're getting a couple more subs, getting warmed up, getting ready to come on.
Edson Alvarez just been yellow carded for that challenge on Kostas Tsimikas. Balls at the back with Jarell Quansah for the hosts. Approaching the midway point of the second half. The reigning holders of the Carabao Cup edging through as things stand. Only defeat this season was here against Nottingham Forest in the Premier League. Callum Hudson-Odoi with that goal to shock Liverpool after what had been a pretty solid start to the campaign. Bradley trying to get away from Somerville. Does he want a corner? No, it actually came off Bradley last of all. He thought Somerville had got the final touch, but the assistant on this near touchline disagreed. And there are more West Ham subs warming up, as Stuart's rightly mentioned. There's 4 down there going through their paces. We'll wait and see. Is there 5 down there? Oh, there's 5 down there. I can't count. Izzy, my producer's just pointed out my maths is... No, maths was never my 5th day. Sorry, forte. The old one to the oldest. Somerville away down the left-hand side for West Ham. Left-hand corner of the penalty area. Little back flick gets Cresswell in. Trying to hit it across the face of goal. Hooked high in the sky by the Liverpool defence. It might come for Saleh. Headed clear by Quansah. On his fast Soufal. Right-hand corner of the box. Lofts it infield to Paquetá. Paquetá gives it back to Soufal. Down the right-hand side of the area. Tries to pull it back. Comes off the chest of Tsimikas. Corner kick. And the West Ham players again are pleading with Andrew Madley that should be given us a penalty kick.
Well, to be honest with you, I think it was close range. Tsimikas is suggesting it smashed him on the chest.
Again, it was from close range, wasn't it? And Lopetegui may have said too much.
Yeah, he's been dancing down the touchline.
Because Madley's just walking over. The corner will have to wait because he's got to book Julian Lopetegui for a bit too much back chat from the technical area. And the 4th officials still getting it in the neck from Lopetegui. And again, the shot was from very close range hit against Tsimikas. We're looking at a replay now.
No, it's not a penalty. It's hit his body. I think it's hit his thigh and gone up his thigh, his chest, then his hand eventually.
By the way, Sam Lammers has equalised for FC Twente over on Talksport against Manchester United. That's 1-1. This is 2-1 to Liverpool. But West Ham have a corner again where the Anfield Road end meets the Kenny Dalglish over on the far side of the field from our commentary position high up in the main stand here at Anfield. Cresswell with a left-footed in-swinger to the back post. Up goes Kilman, heads it up in the air. Headed out by Nunez. Solé with a drive from 20 yards out. Oh, it's way over the top from the recent arrival, and he knows that was a big chance because there was no one round him, but he couldn't keep the volley down. Liverpool goal kick, 2-1.
Yeah, great opportunity. He stood there on the edge of the box waiting for the ball to drop. He's read it very well, and he's come onto the ball and he's just skied it.
Liverpool making a bit of a Horlicks of getting the ball out of their own defensive third, but they do still manage to get it up towards the halfway line. Then they are dispossessed. 20 minutes to go. West Ham are still very much in this cup tie.
Well, they're the team in the ascendancy at the moment, and they're the ones looking full of energy.
What do you think it is, Stuart? Liverpool have settled, or they've settled for the scoreline, or just lost their way a little bit since the substitutions?
Well, I've not seen Salah touch the ball yet, to be honest with you, and he's the one you think, oh, he'll come off the bench and have a real impact. And as I say that,
he hits a diagonal ball to pick out Cody Gakpo inside the area. Only Nunez up with him now. Tsimikas joining in. Drives it across to the far post, but it won't reach Salah. And away go West Ham, and then Paquetá is pulled back by Mo Salah. And a free kick for West Ham United. And yeah, as soon as Stuart Pearce mentioned that Salah hadn't touched the ball, he hits a beautiful into-out 50-yard crossfield ball.
Yeah, I think the substitutions for West Ham have certainly improved and given them a bit more higher energy, and Liverpool just staying in the game at the moment.
Paquetá collided with Endo as he was brought down. I think he's winded the Liverpool midfielder, and the physios have gone out to treat him. So don't forget, Newcastle Man City game day exclusive Reshman in the team, including Stewart, who'll be up at St James's Park on Saturday. That's the 12:30 kickoff on Talksport. Sheffield Wednesday against West Bromwich Albion, Talksport 2 at 12:30. And I hope I did a Sheffield Wednesday West Brom game for Talksport 2 a few years back at Hillsborough, Stu, and it was when Sheffield Wednesday were doing their centenary year. They had gold numbers on the back of those blue and white striped shirts. Couldn't read them. West Brom had their yellow and green away strip, cherry numbers on the back. Couldn't read them. It was like one of those magic eye photos you look at. You think, if I look at that shirt long enough, there might be a number appear in a minute. Endo's back on his feet and just moving slowly towards the near touchline. Maybe Arne Slot will decide to just give him a rest and bring on a replacement, as he was winded by being barged into by Lucas Paquetá. Slavia Prague 2-0 up in Ludogorets in the Europa League. Galatasaray been pegged back by PAOK. That's now 1-1 in Istanbul. Anderlecht 2-0 upon Ferencváros in short order. And it's still Manchester United 1, FC Twente 1. Live on Talksport. Lammers getting that equalising goal a few minutes ago for the Dutch side, who Erik ten Hag is a fan of, if I remember rightly. Now here come West Ham, 2-1 down, but Somerville scheming down the left-hand side, gives it back to Paquetá, clips into the area. Bowen trying to roll Quansah down by the dead ball line, goes to ground again, wants a penalty or a corner or something, but gets nothing.
I'm not sure what he was trying to do there. He's used his body brilliantly just to help the ball into the box, and I thought he was just going to unload a left foot shot as it come across his body, and I'm not sure what he's looking for there, Jared, to be fair.
Well, he certainly didn't get anything. Endo's back out there, having had his little 30-second spell waiting on the touchline. Salah for Liverpool. Right-hand corner of the box. Lovely ball for Bradley on the underlap. Pulls it back to the 6-yard line. The shot is blocked, but Salah follows up to make it 3 and make it safe for Liverpool, surely to progress through to round 4. Salah and Bradley masterminded it inside the area at first. A shot came in from Alexis that was blocked by Fabianski. It came straight out to Salah, who instinctively prodded it home into the roof of the net for Liverpool 3, West Ham 1.
Well, what have I learned? Never write Salah off. I mentioned that he hadn't had any impact since then. Crossfield pass, brilliant. And a little interaction there, and he's run onto the end of that and stroked it into the back of the net.
Very impressive from Mo Salah. But Conor Bradley should be noted for his part in that goal as well, for the underlapping run that Salah spotted.
Yeah, it was good play, really good play by Liverpool.
Back underway. And now West Ham have a mountain to climb. 3-1. And the Carabao Cup holders look to be making serene progress through to the 4th round, the draw for which is coming up after the conclusion of this tie. And you'll hear that draw on the Sports Bar with Jamie O'Hara, Jason Cundy. 03717 223344. I'm going to see Andy Irving come on for West Ham United, and Mohamed Kudus as well is going to get some minutes for the Hammers. I think Andy Irving, who came on for his debut as a sub against Chelsea, was one of the few high spots for the West Ham contingent. Antonio, meantime, right-hand corner of the penalty area, drives the ball into the box, missed out by Somerville, lobbed across the face of goal by Cresswell, came out to the penalty spot, and Quansah beat Carlos Soler to the ball and helped to get it clear. Salah now outpaces Paquetá on this near side, gets over the halfway line, tries to play the ball with the outside of his boot, and he's cleaned out by Alvarez, who's on a yellow card. He's going, and he's off. Second yellow card, 2 lemons make a strawberry. Edson Alvarez is dismissed for a second bookable offence by cleaning out Mo Salah. West Ham 3-1 down and now a man down.
I've got to say, me and my big mouth on West Ham's behalf there. I mean, Mo Salah, his contribution over the last 6 or 7 minutes has been absolutely incredible. He's drawn a foul there. He's gone past 2 or 3 players, drawn the foul from a stupid Alvarez, and well, the game is well beyond West Ham now, you would suspect.
Well, they're still going to make the 2 changes. Irvin and Kudus are still going to be brought on by Julian Lopetegui. But Edson Alvarez, who joined from Ajax last year, is red carded after 2 bookable offences, just to add to the task that West Ham United face here, with 13 minutes to go on Talksport 2. Liverpool with a man advantage. Gakpo weaving his way into the area. Tsimikas tries to knock it back to the edge of the box. There were 2 waiting, Alexis and Endo, but West Ham got it clear. Antonio working really hard inside his own half, barrelling into Liverpool players, and he's done well. He's won his team a throw in the end for West Ham United.
Yeah, as I say, West Ham just looked as though they were getting their tails up, had a few skirmishes in and around the box, and then obviously Liverpool's third was punctuated them, and the sending offs killed them.
So Carlos Soler goes off to allow Andy Irving, former Hearts player, to come on, and Jared Bowen is going to make way for Kudus, so he's going to give the captain's armband to Aaron Cresswell for these remaining minutes. And we're going to see Tyler Morton come on as well for Liverpool. Academy graduate, been here since 7 years of age. Hasn't made a Liverpool appearance since December 2021. He's had loans at Blackburn Rovers and Hull City. So a good moment for him to get into the fray. And he's in a match situation where Liverpool are 3-1 up and they have a man advantage. But he'll have to wait to be introduced because play's restarted. And Cresswell, now the West Ham captain, guides it back for Kilman. Inside his own defensive third. Ball up to halfway, drifts away from Somerville. Out of play, so who is Tyler Morton replacing? Well, they're still not. Are they going to make the change? No, they're not. It's a Liverpool throw, but on a slot in no hurry. They're going to make a double change, actually. It looks like they're going to bring on Andy Robertson, yes. So halfway, Liverpool in possession, 3-1 up. Here live on Talksport 2. Still 1-1 between Manchester United and FC Twente. Over on Talksport. Endo fires the ball into the feet of Alexis McAllister, who went for goal, chipped onto the post by Fabianski, and the follow-up by Gakpo fell conveniently for Lucas Fabianski to clutch onto it gratefully. Fantastic strike from Alexis McAllister, and the fingertip touch diverted the shot onto the woodwork. Stays 3-1.
Well, everything about that was quality. The shot, the save, magnificent.
Fabianski might be a bit put out that he's no longer number 1 at West Ham, with Alphonse Areola the designated number 1. Saves like that won't do him any harm.
No, it certainly won't. The one thing West Ham have got, they've got a fantastic keeper in backup, you know, with Lucas, that is for sure.
Towards the end of his career, he is 39 years young.
Yeah, he's been a great signing over time, that is for sure.
Liverpool 3, West Ham 1. 10 minutes to go, plus added time here on Talksport 2. With that Europa League double bill to come tomorrow night. Malmo Rangers, and then Spurs against Karabakh. Salah rubbing Stuart Pearce's nose in it every time he gets involved in the game.
He's been magnificent.
Winning in the centre circle now.
You know what? His ears are pretty big. I think he must have heard me, you know what I mean? Unless he's got radio.
Well, now he's shaved his hair, he's probably got better hearing, yeah. Although it's growing back a bit. Now Antonio can charge forward. Somerville to his left, inside the area. Can he drive it goalwards? He's put it wide. Big chance to get West Ham back into the game as suddenly Antonio broke forward. Sensible ball to Somerville, left-hand side of the area, but he dragged his shot across goal and wide. And here come the changes for Liverpool. And Mutado Endo is going to make way for the aforementioned Tyler Morton. And the other change we'll see, well, it's a straight swap at left back. No great surprise. Robertson for Tsimikas. Warm applause certainly for Endo for his performance in defensive midfield. they've got options there. I mean, Gravenberg has kind of been converted into this kind of defensive midfield position by Arneslot, hasn't he, Stuart? So that sort of protector role that Wijnaldum used to do so well for Liverpool, they've got a couple of options now.
Yeah, they certainly have. I mean, up at the front end of their team, they've got great options. Speaking with someone, a Liverpool fan beforehand, and suggesting they got more options at the heart of the back of the defence now, and it's that midfield area that is a concern for them.
That's Stuart Pearce, former West Ham defender, England under-21 manager, alongside me, Ian Danter, here at Anfield. We've got 8 minutes to play. Liverpool 3, 10-man West Ham 1. Arsenal have beaten Bolton by 5 goals to 1. That game is now finished at the Emirates, so Arsenal in the hat for round 4. Still 1-1 between Manchester United and Twente over on Talksport. They've got about 7 minutes to play in that game. Joe Shannon and Mickey Gray, your commentary team at Old Trafford, just up the road. Could be more shenanigans on the M6 South coming back with Liverpool. Don't look at me like that, Stuart Pearce. You and me are both going to go through it.
Exactly. We've got the same journeys.
Salah rolls it infield, but Liverpool dispossessed. Somerville tries to tuck it infield to Irving, who was caught by Bradley. Free kick. Andy Irving had a loan at Klagenfurt in Austria last season, away from West Ham. Former Hearts youth. And he's one of those late changes. Kudus brings down a bouncing ball inside the Liverpool half, but then he's wrestled for possession by Cody Gakpo. Ball's out of play. West Ham have a throw. Taken quickly. And they've got to act quickly here, West Ham United. This tie is, as you can imagine, with one man less out there, drifting away from them after Alvarez's second yellow card. Ball's back with Lucas Fabianski, who just made that tremendous flying save to deny Alexis McAllister. Kudus inside his own half. Good ball infield for Paquetá, just shy of the halfway line. Somerville calling for it on this near side, but Paquetá's gone right for Soufal. Kudus just infield. Lovely little toe poke through to find Paquetá 30 yards out. Kudus again, just has the ball taken off his toe by Salah. Back there again, getting involved in the game. And the ball safely back in the arms of Caoimhin Kelleher. 3-1 Liverpool.
Yeah, I thought that Paquetá just put too much pace on the ball, that he stabbed at Kudus, and he just couldn't deal with it on the edge of the box there.
Bradley finds Morton. Back it goes for Jarrell Quansah. Up to halfway. Lovely turn by McAllister. Just on the half turn as he received it, so he could just size up what was around. Robertson finds Gakpo driving into the area. Left hand side, goes for goal. Another flying save by Fabianski, this time diving to his left. Got both hands to it as well, and a good purchase on that save. And West Ham get it clear. But good intent from Cody Gakpo, who had a terrific Euros. Scored, what, 3 for the Dutch in that tournament?
Yeah, he certainly did. And as I say, good effort there, and Fabianski once again equal to it.
Out of play it goes for a West Ham United throw over on the far side of the field. But 5 minutes to go. Still 1-1 at Old Trafford. Live on Talksport 2. Remember, Friday night, Plymouth against Luton. In our EFL game, that's an 8 o'clock kickoff down in the West Country. Luton just not quite getting going this season. Plymouth getting their first win against Sunderland 2 weeks ago, before losing at the leaders West Brom, who go to Sheffield Wednesday at lunchtime on Saturday. That's live on Talksport 2 as well. We are your home of the EFL, as well as the EFL Cup. Paquetá in the centre circle for West Ham. Floats the ball out to Cresswell on this near side. Antonio making a willing run onside down the left-hand side of the area, skips past Bradley, tries to knock it back to Somerville, but the ball ricocheted through and Kelleher claimed it before Antonio could get onto the loose pass. Stays 3-1.
Yeah, unfortunate there. Antonio done quite well. You can't go round the wrong side, as Bradley's found out of Antonio. He just got turned too easily there. A little bit of an inexperience.
So here is Jarrell Quansah. Faced up by Antonio, or drifts past him with ease, gets into the centre circle and plays the ball left for Robertson. Gakpo again, out on the left-hand side, might have a run at Soufal here. Plays the ball into the area, looking for the run of Nunez. Nunez has got goal side of his man, pulls it back from the dead ball line. Gakpo drives it wide, kept in play by Jones, but Liverpool can't turn it home. And Paquetá will bring it clear for West Ham United. So close to 4-1 Liverpool.
Yeah, it was great play there, great build-up, and just Jones at the far post just couldn't squeeze it past Creswell.
Here's Jones again, just inside the West Ham half, looks for Gakpo again at the left-hand corner of the area, trying to drive the ball along the 18-yard line, but all the Liverpool players he was aiming for were ahead of that cross, but he's got away with it. It's gone out for a throw into the last 3 minutes of normal time. Morton finds Bradley. Salah calling for it on this near side, midway point of the half. Cuts infield a stride or two, plays a diagonal ball out to Gakpo, level with the edge of the area left-hand side, nicks it infield for Robertson. Robertson's cross into the box. Somerville flicks it away. That's gone behind for a corner kick to Liverpool at the Kop end as we head towards the last 2 minutes of normal time. 3-1.
Yeah, it's Liverpool now. They've got the ascendancy in the game. Number superiority as well, certainly helping that.
And Robertson is going to take the corner. Salah was ready to take it, but he's been shooed away by the Scot. So a corner at the Kop end. Left-footed in-swinger to come from Robertson. In it goes to the near post. Gakpo tried to win the header, comes out to Jones on the half volley at the edge of the box, and he's very disappointed with his efforts. He pulls his shirt over his head as he got right underneath it and skied it into the Kop end. 3-1.
Yeah, poor effort there. As I say, it just set up. Wasn't the easiest to take. Maybe a touch would have been his better option.
One or two deciding that they're going to try and beat the traffic. Certainly quite a few West Ham fans have decided to go back to their coaches and cars from the away end to our left-hand side. Stewards start to sit around the perimeter of the pitch ahead of the final whistle. And we'll be into the last minute of normal time now on Talksport 2. Ball's back with Kevin Kelleher. Maybe he'll keep goal again on Saturday if Alisson's still not quite right for the game against Wolves, but that will be appearance number 50 if that is to happen. 50 appearances in 9 years. Not a lot. He's been a very patient boy.
He has. He certainly won't be one of them footballers going on strike because of being overplayed, it's fair to say, Dance.
Here is Gakpo looking for 5. Oh, wonderful hit. Cody Gakpo makes it 4-1. Firing it home from the edge of the area. Low to Fabianski's right. He's made some great saves in this second half, but he can do nothing about that. And the seal is set on Liverpool's safe passage as they try and defend this trophy. Into stoppage time we go. Liverpool 4, West Ham 1.
Well, the game's ended up being very, very comfortable scoreline-wise, and Gakpo has had the ball on that flank on a few occasions, and for me, hasn't found the right pass or the right finish. On that occasion, got everything right. Cut inside, opened the goal up, and then closed his foot and pulled it into this near post area. Good finish.
And we moved into 5 minutes of added time here on Talksport 2. 4-1 the score. Gakpo has his first of the season, having scored 3 at the European Championships. And they're into added time at Old Trafford over on Talksport as well, and it still levels your devils. It's still 1-1 between Manchester United and FC Twente. Reaction to that on the sports bar with Jamie and Jason from 10 o'clock. 03717 223344. West Ham went for goal. Andy Irving from the centre of the Liverpool half cracked a left-footed shot goalwards, but Kelleher knew it was going well wide, and now the away end really is emptying. Yeah. West Ham fans may well want to ring Jamie and Jason and give their opinion on what for an hour was a pretty solid West Ham performance, Stuart Pearce.
Yeah, I think it's a bit harsh on this scoreline. I really do. As you rightly say, for an hour they were well in the game, made the substitutions, same time as Liverpool, and they looked the side that looked the better out of the two, to be honest with you. And then the third goal come, and shortly after that the sending off, and that was it. It was done.
Morton will lay it off to Bradley. Lots of young academy talent out there for Liverpool now. Gomez, who came to the club from Charlton Athletic, finds Gakpo out on the left wing. Now Alexis McAllister gives it back to Gakpo. Tries to get the ball on his right foot, plays it in the area. Robertson drives it goalwards. It's blocked by the legs of Fabianski. Not fully clear from West Ham. In it comes for Salah, drifting away outside the area, right-hand side. Support from Bradley, but he's not using him at the moment. Now Bradley goes on the overlap. Salah works the ball in field instead to find Gomez. Gomez across for Robertson, who just had that shot that was blocked by the legs of Fabianski. Gomez being urged to shoot from the edge of the centre circle. Salah, right hand side, plays the ball in with the outside of his left boot. Lovely delivery, breaks to the far post. Gakpo lets the ball run across his body. Kudus at his back, turns away brilliantly from Kudus. Great strength from Gakpo, goes for goal, deflected and in. 5-1 Liverpool, and Cody Gakpo has his second goal in almost as many minutes. And 10-man West Ham are being taken apart late on here by the holders of the Carabao Cup. Gakpo with a brace. It's Liverpool 5, West Ham 1.
Well, certainly probably 15-20 minutes ago you'd have never seen a scoreline like this coming, would you? It's been incredible really, and the clinical finishing of Liverpool, which ended up in the back of the net. They've had a couple of other efforts, one hit in the post, the goalkeeper making a couple of good saves, and it's Gakpo once again done well to retrieve the ball that was going wide. West Ham a little bit loose with their defending, and the deflections has helped him out greatly.
Yeah, nothing that Fabianski could do there. The ball just diverted away from his grasp as he plunged to his left-hand side. 5-1. And Liverpool have done the same. It was 5-1 in the previous season in the Carabao Cup.
Yeah, I've got to say it was chalk and cheese performances wise between that game and this game. I really do.
Is that a song for Arne Slot? I can hear. I think it is. As the ball's cleared downfield by Todibo for Kudus. Infield for Irvin. 5 minutes and nearly up.
You're a musical man. It must be quite difficult to put Arne Slot into a song, is it?
Yeah, it's not an easy one. Take me some time. Here's Antonio, left wing for West Ham United, playing out time here. Playing the ball into the box. It's finished at Old Trafford. Points dropped by Erik ten Hag against the club he supported. FC Twente get a 1-1 draw against Manchester United. Reaction to that on the sports bar with Jamie and Jason. And Liverpool fans will want to react to this because Andy Madley's just brought the match to an end, and the holders of the Carabao Cup are safely through to the fourth round, and they've inflicted the same scoreline on West Ham 2 seasons running in this competition. It was 1-0 to West Ham in the first half after a Wataru Endo attempted clearance bounced off the knee of Jarell Quansah in the penalty area and diverted past Kelleher. But Diogo Jota quickly got the first of his 2 goals not long after to make things level at 1 apiece. Soon it was 2-1 to Liverpool just after half-time. Mo Salah, who came on as a substitute, got his customary goal to make it 3-1. And then Cody Gakpo got a late brace in the 90th and the 93rd minutes to seal Liverpool's passage through for the fourth round draw that's coming up shortly. Stuart Pearce.
Yeah, I think the scoreline flattered Liverpool slightly. They were certainly probably the better side over 90 minutes, no doubt about that. It'd be folly for me to say anything different, but on the hour, West Ham were in the game, and then the quick fire sort of Salah, and then on top of that the sending off, and the game was done.
Yeah, we should mention that red card for Edson Alvarez, who received a second yellow for a foul on this near touchline, and that put pay to any chance that West Ham really had of forcing the issue against Liverpool. So disappointment once again for Julian Lopetegui, but as you suggest, Stuart, this is not, given the match circumstances and the red card and where West Ham were early in the second half, and certainly up to an hour gone, this is not as much of a cause for concern as the performance was against Chelsea on Saturday.
No, without a doubt. As I say, it was a much better performance up to the hour mark, but the result will be hurtful for West Ham. There's no doubt about that. They wanted to come here, maybe get an upset of some description, but for Liverpool it keeps the momentum going of a new manager, and they'll be delighted to go into the next round.
Well, Arne Slot won the Dutch Cup at Feyenoord, having won the league the season before he came here, so he's got some form for getting through to the latter stages of cup competitions. Still one or two Liverpool players yet to leave the field. If you were giving a man of the match award tonight, Stuart, who would it be for?
I would probably, there was a lot of performances that were okay in there. I'd probably go with Gakpo, to be fair. I think he was pretty decent. He got himself on the score sheet as well, and he was as good as anybody.
And for West Ham, next up they go to Brentford at the weekend in the Premier League as they lick their wounds, then home to Ipswich and away to Spurs. Liverpool have got some Champions League opposition here next week in Bologna, who of course did brilliantly last year in Europe, so there's tests to come. But some of those young players out there tonight, Quansah, Curtis Jones, just a little bit of food for thought for Arne Slot for selections going forward, maybe.
Yeah, without a doubt. I thought Quansah played quite well, couldn't do anything about the ball that deflected off him into the goal. And the longer the game went on, I thought Curtis Jones found a couple of very, very clever passes on the edge of the box.
And Salah came on and did his usual thing for half an hour. So
he was woeful for 5 minutes, drew me into a full sense of security to suggest he hasn't had an impact, and all of a sudden, wow, incredible.
Stuart, thanks for your company tonight, as always.
My pleasure.
Stuff. Stuart Pearce, part of our team tonight here at Anfield. Don't forget, the lines are open now. Our operators are standing by over on Talksport for you to get your calls into Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy on the sports bar. That number, if you don't know it already, 03717 2233 44. Liverpool fans happy to be through, I'm sure, to round 4. Can you retain the Carabao Cup trophy? And as for West Ham fans, what about that performance? It was better, wasn't it, than what you saw at the London Stadium against Chelsea on Saturday, despite the look of the scoreline here at Anfield tonight. What hope has that given you ahead of the London derby against Brentford on Saturday? Same number applies, 03717 2233 44. The sports bar starting next over on Talksport. Don't forget our double bill of Europa League football tomorrow night here on Talksport 2, starting at 5:30 before Malmo against Rangers. But the full-time score here as Anfield empties in the Carabao Cup: Liverpool 5, West Ham 1.